Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Brinthesel. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a member of the town council. Hello, welcome if you're joining us on Zoom as well. Lovely to see you all. If you're seated at a table by yourself, I might suggest that you consolidate with some other folks. And without further ado, I'm really excited to introduce our search recruiter from SGR, Lisa, who's gonna tell you a little bit about what that is and who they are before we begin our community conversation. Take it away.
Thank you, Sonia. Well, first of all, so excited to be here. So this is one of my favorite parts of my job is the opportunity to get to meet a community and really engage in a way that helps us to understand what are the things that you all are passionate about and what are the things that are important to you. So thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight and for coming. So I know it's taking time out of your schedule to be here, and I just want you to know we value that, and it's hugely important to us. So I am with Strategic Government Resources. SGR has been in business for about 20 years. We see ourselves as a support system for local government. And what I mean by that is we're constantly looking for ways that we can come alongside local government and help them solve problems, tackle challenges, and really be successful. As part of that, we do several different things. So one thing we do is executive recruitment. And that is what I'm here for, right? And that's the branch that I am engaged in. About me personally, as it relates to executive recruitment, I've been doing talent acquisition at the executive level for a little over 20 years. And been doing it specifically in local government, SGR, for a little over 6 years. So I do work nationwide. I am passionate about understanding your community and the things that make you all tick and the things that work and don't work. Because I am going to sell you all to candidates, right? You know, I don't want to call us salespeople, but we are marketing your organization, community, and the position to applicants. We also do leadership development and training. So we do a lot of work on live training, in-person training for local government, but also workshops for councils, conflict resolution, executive coaching, anything that can help an organization be able to be successful, strategic planning, all these things, okay? And we do interim placement, as well as we have a whole team that does strategic foresight, where they really look at what are the problems that are coming down the pipe, right? What are local government issues going to be facing? They're looking at legislation and all kinds of things, right? To kind of look at some of those things and then trying to develop things to help local governments tackle those challenges and issues. So that's a little bit about SGR. And like I said, a little bit about me. I'm super passionate about helping communities find the right fit. I started in the private sector working for a company called Pro Systems. I don't know if anybody knows a man by the name of Ross Pro, but you know, his charge to us was always, you're looking for the needle in the haystack with a red dot. Okay. And what that means is you're looking for not for somebody who can do a job, but you're looking for somebody who could do the job and help take the organization to where it wants to go. Okay. And not just keep the lights on. And so oftentimes I'll call that the puzzle piece. You're looking for a specific puzzle piece, and super passionate about that. I've shared this a little bit. The market is challenging right now. I'll just be honest, you know, for multiple reasons. But it's not challenges that can't be overcome. And ultimately, the success of the town manager is going to be promoted and helped by you all, right? And your ability and willingness to desire to work with them and support them and help them understand your needs, as well as the town council. So anyway, excited to be here. I have Jeff Tyne with me, and Jeff has been in local government for a little over 30 years. So SGR, like I said, I'm a little bit unicorn in that I am not a former city manager. Most of the people who do my job at SGR are. I am married to one. And so I do have perspective from that way. But Jeff has been in local government for over 30 years. He just retired recently after many years as a city manager in the Southwest. And so he is new to SGR, and he's shadowing me on this search. Super, super thankful to have his expertise, and he'll be engaging as well as we go through the search process. So, yes.
Ma'am, you speak fast, and I didn't catch. How can I look your organization up online?
Yeah.
And you would like to find out your marching orders. You know, that would be very nice, what you've been assigned to do.
Yeah.
How can we find you?
Yeah, so I will give you our web address. I'll come write it down in a minute just to make sure, but it's governmentresource.com. Okay, that is our web address. You're welcome to go look at our website and you'll learn a lot about what we do there. The search process, and Sonia, you're okay if I kind of cover that just
Yeah,
at a high
you
level?
said that was government,
Resource.com.
right?
And that's singular resource, even though we're strategic government resources. I didn't get to pick the web address, so, so a little bit about the search process. We're currently in what we call profile development. Okay, profile development is when we are working with an organization to gather the information about what the position is, right? Job description, but think job description on steroids, right? A little deeper into what are some of the skills, abilities, attributes that you all want the next town manager to have. In addition, that document will also be a marketing tool. So it'll talk about your community and the quality of life you have here and a lot of things to help communicate that to candidates, right? What it would be like to live here in Orono. So that's currently the phase we're in. Once we kind of finish profile development and that profile is finished, and we'll officially launch the search. Okay, so we'll begin recruiting nationwide for the position. That being said, probably most of your candidates will come from the region. But every once in a while, there's somebody excellent out there who has motivation and desire to be a part of your community and has the experience that would be excellent to do so. So we'll see where the road takes us. Jeff and I will both be doing a lot of work on that front and reaching out. We do a lot of social media and national advertising, but we also do a lot of personal outreach. So we'll be reaching out to potential applicants to talk to them about the roles. After the position is closed, then we do present applicants. Semifinalists are selected. We give a lot of information. We do a lot of due diligence on candidates. We do media searches and then on finalists, we're going to do a partially blind reference check process. We get a lot more honest feedback as well as digging deeper into their personal social media and everything we can find on the web about them, as well as their background check before they come in for the finalist interview process and council makes a decision. So that's a little bit about the search process holistically. Do you want to kind of talk about our exercises here?
I would be delighted to.
Okay.
Sure thing. I guess maybe before we get to that, are there any real burning questions that you think lots of people in the room would like to know about the search process as quickly overviewed by Alyssa today? And you're welcome to follow up with myself or any of the town councilors or Alyssa after this meeting too. Sure, Dan, one more question.
Yes, everywhere I see you have here that you want a leader. I'm sorry, we had a leader that misled. We don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah.
We want a public servant.
So we'll get the opportunity in just a minute to be sharing your perspective on the kinds of town manager attributes you are looking for, and you're sitting with folks in small groups. So rather than have this be kind of a whole room conversation about those attributes, we're going to start in a small group breakout format. We'll go question by question. You will see in front of you, I've got 4 spots for questions listed here. So I'll ask someone at your table to be the scribe and to be jotting down what the kind of collective brainstorm is as it happens. Or if you're a person who really, kind of wants to be thinking and processing on your own, you can also write this on some sticky notes and stick it up there. I'll give you about 7 minutes per question for these 4 questions that you'll get to chat, to write your notes. And then at the end, I'm going to ask that each breakout group nominate a person from their midst to come up and briefly share out to the room some of the key themes that your group discussed so that we can kind of all hear and learn from that. And I would love to keep your notes from this meeting and be able to type them up and digest them with the town council as well. We do take this feedback quite seriously. Any questions about this format? Tamara, yes.
Could you give us a very general idea of the timeline?
Yeah, so I would say this, we don't give a hard and fast timeline until we launch the search because we're in profile development and And so sometimes, we're not waiting, but the town is working through getting us information, right? And doing meetings like this to get meaningful information. So, but once the search launches, generally, I like to say it's about 10 to 12 weeks until a decision is made from that point. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, depending on, availability, contingencies, and things like that. So, yeah, that's a general timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the search committee for the town council is being co-chaired by Leo Kenny and Sarah Marks. And Sarah's written up a really detailed timeline and is going to try to keep the council on task to be making this process go smoothly. So you can talk to her about those details. She's got it all in a color-coded spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have a vested interest in that too, because once candidates begin to apply, you don't want the process to stagnate because that's a negative. So we'll definitely help to drive, but we don't want to miss any due diligence along the way. So, are you ready for the first question?
I am. Okay. Are you all ready for your first question? Let's go. What are some things that the next town manager needs to be successful? What character attributes, what traits, anything else you want to add to that?
Unique areas of experience,
Yeah.
anything that is kind of outside of the normal job description, whether it's a soft skill or a unique area of experience that you feel like they need to have to be successful here.
Go, you've got 7 minutes.
I'll tell you.
Hi, can you guys hear me? I would like to facilitate our discussion online, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure everybody can talk who is here online. It might just take us 1 second. Oh. Hi, I am trying to make sure that I'm not being broadcast out in the chamber. We're good. All right. So now we're going to try, if you guys can remember the question, it goes something like, what does the next manager need to be successful? And these could be character attributes, traits outside of the normal job description. If you have thought of some things, what I'd like to do is hear from you once we're able to promote you to being able to hear you. All right.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you, Cecilia.
Okay, great. Am I the only one online?
No, there are about 8 people online. So go
Okay.
ahead. Do you have any thoughts? And I'll try and write them down.
Okay, I really have one major item which applies to background and abilities and skill. UMaine
Okay.
is, Orono is unique because it is home to the UMaine flagship campus. And I think the relationship between the town and the university is essential to the success of the future town manager. So I would be thrilled to see someone who either has experience or is willing to really cultivate a positive, strong relationship with the university, where the university and the town work together and do not duplicate efforts.
Thank you. So I have the relationship between the town manager and the university.
Yes.
City should be strong. We also have this recorded, so we'll go back and make sure we get all the nuances.
Sure, a relationship that is beneficial to the town and to the university.
Thank you. Jamie, we're going to unmute you here.
Am I good to go?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. No, I just wanted to piggyback on what Cecile said. I think that yes, you should have a very strong working relationship between the town and the university, and I think there's a lot of benefit that can come from both sides. But one thing that I think would be particularly beneficial in that relationship is the ability to collaboratively work to solve the unique problems that sometimes arise between the town and the university. For example, Main Day. I think having a town councilor who, or excuse me, a town manager who has, familiarity with that type of management of large events would be helpful. And sort of in that same vein, one of the sort of quote unquote soft skills that they're mentioning, I think, Orono is very small and close knit, as we all know. And so I think a town manager who would be very successful here is someone who would have a high degree of emotional intelligence.
Thank you. There's another Cecilia, and there was a Cecilia Marion who talked. If this other Cecilia, could you please let us know your thoughts?
Sure. Sure. It's actually Alan, but Cecilia has her
right.
name on it.
Hi, Alan.
Hi. Cecilia said it's her laptop. I would say so. I would expect the town manager, with any luck, to stay in the position, beyond the term of the town council. And with that in mind, the current town council is very open to public input and to sharing information with the public in a very two-way, bi-directional way. And I would hope that the town manager who they hire, who will likely outlast them, has the same, or I lost some of the members anyways, has the same attitude of openness to sharing information with the public and with the town council, and openness to input from the public and the town council.
Thank you. And Catherine, we're going to go to the next question, and I'll come straight to you and you can say this last one and then also the next one. All right, Catherine, in just a second. Do I mute it?
Was there a question?
But you do know what issues are affecting our community. And as a top level person in town, What affects our community impacts the town manager. So you definitely know enough to answer this question. Go.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Yeah.
Well, not even.
Still hear it. All right, hi, can you guys hear me? All right, Catherine, the new question which we missed, I'm sorry, is what challenges will the new town manager face? And Catherine, I'd also like to hear your thoughts on question one if you would like to put those in.
Sure. I guess on one, I think I would deviate a little bit from the university relationship, and I think it's really important to have somebody who has a strong business sense and background. Oftentimes counselors are, community people that isn't necessarily their strong suit. So I think no matter who is on the council, it represents the need for that. The other one was, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what the other one was.
Sure, I will let you know background. Yeah, and the second one is what challenges will the new town manager face?
Yeah, I mean, I think right off is an unstable workforce, and a lot of competing views of why am I? Oh.
Genders are even that too. It just seems like there's just.
We can hear them in the council chambers. Can you? Sorry, Catherine. All right, keep going, Catherine. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no, I just think they're coming into a time where there's a lack of stability in our town, and there's a lot of competing views and opinions about the status of how the town is right now. So you need somebody who is going to be able to be a strong leader and be able to navigate through that, and really first and foremost be able to create some sense of, unfortunately, it's going to take a while, but they're going to need to focus on stability. And sort of working and building up a workforce that and sort of handling a workforce that's been completely overworked. So that's going to be imperative, even if that wouldn't normally be what you would want to look for in a manager. But because of the situation we're in, we really need to look at somebody that's able to do that.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any thoughts on this question too? What challenges will the new manager face? Are we on to question? Yeah. If there's no more input on question two, I'm going to continue on to question three. I think it'll be easier than trying to break in and out of the group session back there. So question three is, why would someone want this job? Great, Cecilia.
Can you hear me?
Marion, I can, please.
Okay. I would go back to what I said earlier. I think the person who's going to do well in this job is someone who is ready for this really unique situation of being in a small town with few resources, but a large campus in town. So I think the key to success again is going to be willing to collaborate and work with the university and have them contribute to the Orono infrastructure, have them discuss housing opportunities in town, especially workforce housing. So I'm going to say the same thing. I think to every question, the success will rely on this relation with the university.
Yeah, and do you know why someone would want this job specifically? Like, I know what I would say with that.
Precisely because they would be interested in that challenge. Let's say
Okay,
somebody who has
gotcha.
experience as a town manager in a university
Yes.
town.
Well, thank you. That makes more sense. Thank you. Alan.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
I think there's a tremendous involvement of the town residents in the activities of the town. And I think that there's a lot of potential for people to volunteer and get involved in the town. And, you know, I mean, concretely, I point to the ongoing success of the monthly potlucks. A lot of people have been coming out to that, and not just as a one-off. Really sustain attention some other more formal activities, regarding other town activities as well. DEI activities, for example. So I think there's a large cadre
Say
of
that.
really.
What was that activity? DEI?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was just
yeah.
saying two examples. Was
Yeah.
the DEI committee and
Yep.
the
Yes.
and the periodic potlucks. I think there's other examples as well, but
Yes.
you clearly have a large cadre of really involved town residents.
Yeah. Thank you. Jamie.
Yeah, certainly. So in terms of thinking of like why someone would want to come to Orono, I think everyone's suggestions are really great, but in terms of like what I would imagine looking for a job, Orono is a very safe town
Yeah.
crime-wise,
Yeah.
but also socially speaking.
Mm.
I mean, certainly there are pockets of problems here and there, but overall, Orono is a very welcoming place to diverse communities, and a very good place to raise a family. Our schools are great. Sort of that realm of things it's the quality of life here is very high.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna go to the last question.
Wait,
Unless somebody else.
Cecilia actually had something to add as well.
Sure.
She asked
Please.
she asked me to add that the relationship and the potential relationships with the mosque in town and with the tribes are also potential attractants for the right applicant.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna move on to the fourth question, unless because I don't see any more hands here. And the fourth question is, why would someone not want this job? Cecilia, Marian?
Let's see. Well, it's a small town and it's in Maine. I have no idea how town managers do job hunting.
Yeah.
There are probably some who are interested in a larger town with a bigger budget. This is not the case. So a good fit would be someone who is comfortable with a really small town, and again,
Yeah.
with large university. I think that's very basic, but that's what I would say.
Thank you. Catherine, do you have anything?
Yeah, I guess I mean, pay, maybe. I guess where we're drawing people from, it might be an attraction if we're drawing from a southern state, but certainly if we're drawing from greater New England or, sort of the Northeast corridor, I can imagine our pay isn't going to be super attractive. I think that there's, I think being a university town has its challenges, right? There's obviously, you know, sort of a constant friction. And there's a lot of challenges from a budget perspective. In Orono, there's a lot of needs of our elderly community that you know, are, you know, we're trying to figure out. So there's, you know, it's not, they're not, and, you know, they're coming in on the heels of something that whether we want to talk about it or not, it was a little contentious. So that's going to be, I think, important to really
Yes.
be able to, you know, communicate out, and there's a fair amount of discontent. You know, I've lived in town, worked in town since '96, lived in town since 2009, and this is certainly, I think, you know, some people don't have the same view of me as I do, but I think we're at the lowest point of um, um, satisfaction with our town government that I've seen. So I think that could potentially be, but I really think the pay could be an issue. So.
Thank you. Alan or Jamie, do you have anything you want to add?
I think people have, you know, sort of spoken to the heart of what I was thinking. Certainly having another entity like a flagship university, which is almost a municipal government in and of itself in your town, can be a challenge, especially when a lot of the residents have complaints with the population that attends the university. Where you don't have direct power over to do that. I think, you know, a lot of times it can feel like you're, you know, talking to a brick wall. And I do think Catherine was right that, you know, they're coming in on the heels of, you know, some happenings in town government. And so I do think that someone up to the challenge is definitely worth it. And in terms of pay, if the pay is anything similar to what the previous town manager was, I think, you know, we're relatively competitive for at least Maine, which I think is to our benefit because maybe we'll attract someone, you know, local to either Maine or northern New England who is, you know, a comfortable fit for us.
Yes, thank you. All right. Yeah, is that Cecilia or is that Alan? Either one.
This one
Go
is
for it.
Alan again.
All right.
I mean, I guess this may have already been implied in what Catherine said, but the fact that, you know, having a large nonprofit, specifically the university in town, takes a lot of property off the tax roll. So that's obviously a challenge for anyone in town government, including the manager.
Thank you. If anyone has anything else they'd like to add about any of these 4 questions or anything not related to these 4 questions, this is your time to let me know. All right, I think we will probably just break into the video feed, which is just people discussing the questions and writing down their answers. And then if you guys want to share anything, if you think of anything, just raise your hand and we'll try and break that feed and talk again. All right, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys coming online and putting your input.
Thank you.
Together. Are you ready for your fourth question? Great. All right, I know this group needs to jot down one last idea, but your fourth and final question is similar to the third one, but kind of the opposite. It's why might somebody not choose Orono or might not like this job? And the reason for this is not to be a downer, but it's just to be honest about the fact that we're a unique town and you know, we want to have the right candidate who is gonna be successful here and who's gonna love living here and be a great fit with our.
Hi, Cecilia, Marian, you let me know what how to say your name, but you're welcome to talk. I just saw your hand raised again.
It's Cecile.
Cecile. Okay, sorry about that. Cecile.
Nope.
Is there anything you would like to add? No? All
No,
right.
I'm good. I'm not sure why sorry, the hand was up. Yep.
All right, no problem.
That's why it's important for us to know. Okay, there you go. Okay. So why not?
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. Some people love it. You know, I like it, but not everybody does. I would also say. Get it. I'm all.
I would say we could put major that parasite. Yeah. I mean, if you're a small picture, you're actually.
No, but if you've got family, I mean, you got family on the West Coast, how? Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that there's a reason, there's a reason, thanks for adding that.
Yeah.
Arizona.
On the strikes.
It's about
I think it should. And you.
Yeah.
Are you?
I think the document is. Yes, I would love that. So-
And are.
Yeah.
Three different cities, so. Also.
Expanding, yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
Okay.
Yes, that's great, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. It's always just a positive.
Yes.
Then I also.
We heard good things.
That's good. That is our goal. And that's why I'm
Not the cheap.
Every one of our.
There might be other things.
Nobody's perfect, I always say, you know.
Yeah.
We try top down approach. Ultimately, we want to be the best partner.
Well, what I'm saying is like,
You know,
long term.
we're, you know, making any decisions that we are helping. I do that. Long with
They want to live, they want to go.
Actually, that was in the strong dynamic.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
and it was, sort of having supporting our church, and it's something that we heard from staff, that's something that they felt was supported us. They were nervous about the kind of like added workload of a search.
It's not an urban environment, which for some,
I was curious when they were requesting me on this.
And that was why you all.
So,
I think
but I think it's all
end
for
of,
the good.
Your side.
yeah, I think it's the end of it. We really think
Yeah.
get you in your decision.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
So
especially
far,
knowing how you all work, and you wanna make
Yeah.
sure that every stone's been turned. And all the things, they're notified that, feeling of, okay,
yeah,
we did our very, very best.
absolutely. Yeah. So far the process, you know, been feeling really good.
Whatever you don't, let us know.
Will do.
I always say outside of, you know, due diligence requirements, you know, more professional has to be, you know, speak to you all.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
Gotta know what you're
We should get there. But outside of that.
She is. Add to the. Say. Still want to make. It's,
Yeah, it's like the tips that you do.
Yeah, that's what. Orono, which is a own town government. I just can't imagine having you mean, which is its own.
That's totally fair. Totally fair.
Public transportation.
And no direct control.
Right, right. Yeah.
So maybe potential relationship.
They don't.
But it's so small.
So.
Good or bad on the town.
It's.
Yeah.
Morally. It doesn't run. So it's like, to me, as somebody who rides.
Because I'm from the West Coast. When I describe to people, I don't here what it's like here, I say, well, my husband is I work in a public school. It's casual, it's very walkable. And to get there, I walk through the.
Okay, so.
That's where my city friends are like, so you're in town, you walk through the woods, how does that work?
Yeah.
So to me, that sort of blend of like urban, but not, so I mean, clearly not to you, but in the walkable sense.
No, I think-
And outdoors is
Yeah.
is
What's
great.
that?
For a lot of that, and I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and that's describing like that.
Excellent schools.
Exactly.
I mean, you can tell them average elementary school size or class
Yeah.
size is like.
Yeah.
And people elsewhere would think, no, clearly that's wrong. No, it's correct. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Thank
Just two sort of from away perspectives that
Well, and that.
Spokane, Washington, yeah, and California for a good while too. But,
I do, but it has.
oh, okay, yeah, Bay Area mostly, but then Davis outside of Sacramento. So how about you? Okay, lovely. Okay. Right. Right. Yeah.
don't have that.
Look, I created a campaign.
So with our last, we've got just about 15 minutes left of this meeting. With our last chunk of time, I'd like to hear a quick report out from each of the groups. And if you could have someone from your team come up, stick your notes up here and kind of do the very quick 1 to 2 minute synopsis of some of the key themes of your conversation, that would be great. The reason to come up to the front of the room is so that the people joining us on Zoom are better able to hear and participate. Sound good?
To illustrate that we want to.
All right. Can I ask one of you to come on up first?
Oh, God. Let's go. Okay.
All right, let's all give attention to these folks.
We came up together to illustrate that we really want a collaborative team member who works together really well with other people and doesn't just take the lead by themselves. And so we're hoping that this visual will like really hammer that in. Number one, what was the question? What does the next town manager need? Vision, collaborative leadership style, ability to leverage resources such as the university, use data effectively. Well, we don't have to go over every single one. Transparent, progressive, celebrating diversity, equity, and inclusion, open and affirming, aligned with the values of the community. Number 2, why does, oh no, that's not.
What challenges and opportunities will they face?
Yeah, okay, and I don't know if we really knew, but zoning and development, affordable housing, including encouraging local ownership of the housing, forward-thinking, long-term infrastructure, promoting a teamwork environment.
And developing the downtown area and you making use of that resource, which is really important.
Yeah, so we did challenges and then we're like, oh, wait, we need to do opportunities. And so, but we kind of do that again down here, don't we? So,
Overlap.
yeah, that kind of overlaps. Maybe we'll just skip to number 3. Why does someone want this job? We have so many natural resources and we have a lot of public nature here, public trails. We have the university. We're a small local centrally located schools. Like, I love the walkability of the schools. Like, that is not a thing that's in a lot of places laid back. A walkable community in general. Some of our resources like the town pool and the library that support the community. Active, engaged, long-term community living here. It's a wonderful place to raise kids. Quiet, peaceful, safe, friendly, welcoming. Abundant, some of this is redundant, but abundance of outdoor activities, skiing, kayaking. It's charming, historic. We do have like a nice little small downtown that we can also further develop. Progressive, ripe for development opportunities, ready to embrace new ways of doing things. A town that's ready to embrace new ways of doing things. Thank you.
The schools and things like the library, the public support.
Right.
That the town has is really.
Right. We're really supportive of our libraries and community places and schools and all that.
Great.
Number 4, why not Orono? 4 hours from a major city, politically liberal, if you don't like that. If you want a top-down approach to leadership, it's not welcome here. We have a long, dark winter. We have big mosquitoes. It's a small town, which some people might not enjoy. It's a casual, down-to-earth, not very flashy lifestyle. So if you're looking for that, you won't find it here.
Right. You got 1 to 2 minutes to share your high-level answers.
So I will just hit the high points of the stuff that we had that you all didn't. We overlapped on a lot of things. So first thing, attributes, honest, tolerant, fiscally responsible, flexible, diplomatic, a good leader, ability to inspire people, and welcomes community involvement. Challenges, budget constraints, and fiscal pressures, the overall tenure of the council, lack of institutional knowledge, limited housing. Orono has a lot of different groups with different agendas. And one of the ideas we talked about a lot is that there are some people that, in the community who have, some hurt feelings. So a lot of different people to work with as a counselor. Like you all, our opportunities kind of bled into everything, so I'll skip that. Why would somebody want the job? Walkability, we talked about that. The nature-urban relationship we have. The university, great asset to the town. Public spaces, safe, excellent school system. We do have a new council with new ideas and is willing to change or try new things. A lot of community involvement, and we are less vulnerable to climate change. Why not? What I just said, but our climate is not for everyone. 4 hours to a major airport. Lack of ethnic or racial diversity, and the balancing of the relationship with the University of Maine could be a challenge.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Really, yeah, really helpful to hear similarities and also things that different groups have come up with. Come on up, Bob. And then I'll ask Harrison's table to come up next after that.
Okay, question number one, is the next town manager need to be successful? Operational competence, which would include things like, how government works, budgeting, enforcing ordinances and laws, stuff like that. Great personnel skills, collaborative, transparent and compassionate leader. Excellent communicator. Know a little bit about our history, where we've been, where we're going. I think that our group thought that was really important. High level of integrity is really important as well. So those are the things that we talked about with number one. Number two, we're looking at what challenges and opportunities will this person face. Big one for us was balancing community needs with available resources. Downtown revitalization came up. That was really important to us. Development of single family housing, which can do lots of things. It can help stabilize school enrollments. It can provide opportunities for young people to come and buy and build families and take it, raise their children, take advantage of all the opportunities at the university and all of the nice things that we all enjoy in Orono. Challenge of working in a university community. That's something that's going to be faced in any college town. You have challenges and things that happen. You have to work through those. Continued collaboration between our schools and our municipal government. That's our answer to number two. Number three, why would somebody want a job? Safe, fabulous place to live. I think safety is really important to all of us. The location came up, we're fairly close to an airport. One of our members said, you can drive to Bangor, hop on a plane, be someplace. So that was important. A diverse population in Orono, we enjoy that. Engaged citizens, we felt that was really an important strength for our community because people care about our community. So they're going to have an opinion. May not agree with everybody else, but it's important, I think, to have that. That can be a strength for us. Recreational opportunities beyond what we normally think of with our great rec department. You're talking kayaking, it was brought up before. You're talking lakes, you're talking fishing, golf, none of that stuff that I do, but it's there for other people. I live a pretty boring life. Great schools, not just at the university, but also in our small town. I think I was talking to somebody today and they said, the reason we moved to Orono was our schools. Made me very proud. Caring people, reasonable cost of living. Might question that sometimes, but if you went to Boston and other places, it might be different. So that's what we had for number three. And then we struggled. We finally got on board with why would somebody not want to come here? And it's basically what everybody else has said. Cold climate, okay, distance from major cities is one. Demanding community, and then recent staff changes. So those are the things that we had.
Thank you so much. All right, come on up, Harrison. And after this group, I'll go to Matt on Zoom. So be ready with that tech to be able to participate if you are able to share.
Well, we're getting to the point where I think a lot of these are redundant with what has already been said, but just to quickly summarize what we've got for number one.
And feel free to just hit the ones that haven't been said. We'll transcribe the full note too. Yeah.
I think most of the things that we wrote down have already been said, but some of the major points for number one, what does the next town manager need to be successful? Integrity came up for us. We talked about that a lot. What does that actually mean? It's one of those qualities that are hard to define, but you know it when you see it. So figuring out what that is in the candidates and how we identify it is important. And then a lot of technical aspects of the job, financial side of things, technological literacy, being able to communicate and present things effectively to different people. Opportunity, challenges and opportunities, they kind of are two sides of the same coin. So various things that have to do with the schools and the university here in town. So the opportunities for partnership with UMaine, as we've had in Orono in the past and should have going forward. I think one thing that hasn't been said, removing obstacles to accessibility and just building inclusion, which can cover lots of different aspects of the town. Maybe that's the sign that I need to just quicken up. What else do we have here? Keep growing the rec program and including more youth sports. Affordable housing was something we talked about, like other groups. We need more of it, and more public transportation that's more reliable. And community alignment, I think, was something, maybe that was a theme that other groups touched on as well. Both a challenge and an opportunity. Number 3, why does someone want this job? I think it's all the things that have already been said, a lot about the outdoors and the natural beauty of our town, having an affinity for that. And then the safe, walkable community, the downtown that we have. And the nice kind of rural lifestyle that you can appreciate with access to those things as well. Good schools all around. Why not Orono? Apparently something that I learned because I'm a student and this doesn't really apply to me so much. There's a high tax rate here. There's a lot of turnover. There's a pretty large transient population in the sense of people coming and going in Orono from the university. And that can make things tricky. And there's limited employment opportunities, places where like high school kids can work to get a job. And then obviously we live in a cold place, so they have to like that.
Awesome. Thank you. It sounds from these report outs that people had really rich conversations in your breakout groups. So I'm really happy that we kind of all get to share in a little sneak peek of that. It looks like we will probably run this meeting 5 or 10 minutes over. If you need to leave, it's okay. But hopefully you care about Orono enough to stay 10 minutes late. Thank you. Matt, you want to report out from your group?
So there's two things I want to caveat here. One is we had some technical difficulties. So the questions that I asked are just slightly worded different. So you might have just slightly different answers. And then 2, I was writing the answers down and listening and filtering through my brain as I was writing. So if I misrepresented anybody online, please email me and I will make sure that Lissa gets the right representation. So the first question that I had was, what does the next manager need to be successful? Okay. And we got that someone who can develop and maintain a beneficial relationship between the university and the town is vital. A strong worker, someone who can solve the unique problems between the university and the town, and they will need a high degree of emotional intelligence to do that particular job. And they need to be a very effective communicator right at this instant. They need to have two-way communication and openness to the town citizens and with the employees and council. So it's an effective communicator. And then also it is important that they have a business sense and have a strong business background. All things that were. And then question 2 was, what challenges will they face? So we had an unstable workforce in town, competing views and status of where the town is and going. And as part of that, they need to focus on the stability of the workforce. And then I had for my question 3 was, why would someone want this job? And so they have to be interested in challenges, particularly find it fascinating to have a community in a university and find that relationship both a challenge and something that spurs them on and be like, ooh, I like this. All right. So also, this town has tremendous involvement lots of volunteers. The community is very strong. And so a manager who comes in here will have a lot of people who want to do things in the town. And they want to build community, including things like the potlucks that we've been doing and also the DEI committee. And so the residents here are very, very involved. That's a great attraction to I would hope, to a manager. And then it's a very safe town. And it's not just crime, but it's also safe socially. So somebody who wants to come here and be involved in a place that is safe for all sorts of community members, I think that would be attractive. And the quality of life is extremely high. Another thing that would attract people is that this is a place where you can build relationships with tribal communities. And then my question 4 was, why would someone not want this job? So it's a small town and it's in Maine. It has a small budget. They need to be comfortable in a small town, basically. The pay may not be attractive. University town has challenges. There's contentious relationships, right? Within the town, there's some discontent with maybe how the town is running, and low satisfaction with some members of the town. There's complaints with the population that attends the university. And so they need to be able to navigate those complaints between the community and the population at the university. Just the difficulty right now as we're transitioning in town government, it's always going to be difficult. And a lot of the property is off the tax roll because it is nonprofit university land, which leads to a low tax base. That's what I had. So thank you, everybody online. And again, if I misrepresented you, please email me and I will make sure Lisa gets it.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. Can I ask this table to come on up and share a few, share some results, especially things that maybe anything that hasn't been said already. And then that table in the back, you're the last one. Yep.
So a lot of this is the same. One thing that we spent a lot of time on, number 1, we're looking for someone who's an innovative thinker to help defray taxes and, who can come up with ideas to help the community to overall, not just taxes, but to lower taxes, so they don't go up every year. So good business sense and entrepreneur. 2, affordable house rentals, taxes, urban development, relationship with UMaine. This is the same stuff a lot of people have. 3, there's a lot of room to grow in this job. Orono Land Trust, I have no idea how that got in there. He's not even here anymore. Yeah, we do. So, great education system. Also, the proximity to UMaine is great. Number 4 is number 2, basically, remote location. We have high expectations of our new person. Job effectiveness, satisfaction dependent on council makeup, because it can change. It has been changing. So that's going to be one of the things in play. That's it.
Nice. Thanks so much. All right, this is our final group of report outs, and then Lisa and I have a few words of closing before we send you all out.
Thank you. We'll clean up and go through these items really quickly for you, but thank you to the group out there that brought up some great points, including the first question, which is what are some of the skills and qualities that you're looking for? And again, like many of you said, good communication really is going to be critical to this position. Looking for someone with a personality that is outgoing, really enjoys getting to know the town, the people in the town, being visible will be important. Also, to set expectations early and clearly with everyone, to be able to articulate exactly what is the intent of your council, as well as the staff's interests and concerns. Focusing on residents, not just business development, but making sure that there's a good balance of awareness for everyone, all of the constituencies in town. Being accountable is something that is important and is not always very easy. So looking for someone that is able to do that, always wanting to do better and to improve, the community oriented and willingness to learn from others and listen, underlined, to taxpayers and residents. As far as some of the challenges that they see that will be presenting itself, of course, as you had mentioned, balancing the budget, really trying to address the many service needs with the limited resources that you have. And that will require thinking outside of the box, really some good critical thinking and promoting critical thinking throughout your organization, making sure that you're able to delegate and multitask well to this really talented staff, knowing how to prioritize, and making sure that there's a sense of community and a positive attitude. I love the point about making sure that one of the opportunities is to bring energy and joy to the organization. Also, a great point about taking advantage of knowing the stakeholders and taking advantage of some of the other assets in the community. Example of that is the university's Islamic Center, is a great type of nonprofit partnership that you could have. Next, as far as how to sell the community, that would, of course, talk about this as a university, a small town feel, but really with the amenities that you have in a much larger area. The people here are so close. You are, of course, safe, as we had talked about. Really, the river is an amazing asset that you have, as well as the trails, outdoor access to all of those activities, good schools, a small town aesthetic. Can shop locally here as very walkable community as well. And of course, the strong community, the neighbors looking after neighbors. Some of the areas that will be a concern for someone that would come here, and you've already kind of talked to some of these, can be construed as rural. You have a colder climate, and that can be a shock to some of the folks. There is this was interesting, a perception of New England stoicism that, you know what, frankly, as you can see in this room, is not true. And so that is something that we'll have to make sure to get through that perception that goes in there. We'll have to rebalance some different things as we go forward, which means being adjustable. And so anyone that comes here is going to have to adjust to the kind of Orono lifestyle. So I think that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And most of all, thank each and every one of you for coming out and being part of today's conversation. Lisa, do you want to reflect? You've been here all day meeting with different people around town. You've heard a lot. What about tonight's meeting kind of speaks to your impression of town? What are some key themes?
Yeah, so I always like to say that I'd like to come to these meetings and there not be any surprises, right? And what I mean by that is, at this point, I've had the opportunity to meet with a lot of people and to hear a lot of perspectives on what you all need and what some of the challenges you're facing are that you're hoping a new person can come in and help you with. And I'm happy to say, and with a smile on my face, that you all are seeing the same things, right? In other words, it is a real positive thing when we hear kind of the same story, even if it is challenges that are being shared. If there's shared challenges, that means there's an opportunity for overcoming them because they're shared by multiple people. So kudos to you all, because I feel like you're really on the same page about what you're looking for. The challenge I'll give you is this, is that when you have the new manager and they come on board, their success is dependent upon you as well. Okay, it depends on the job they do, but it also depends on how great of a partner you are and how invested you are in their success, which also equals the town's success. So that's my charge to you. Be prepared for when they come on board to be listened to by them, but also to be a listener, right? And hear their perspectives that they have to share, but come alongside them and support and work with them, because I know they'll be excited to work with you. So.
Yeah. Thanks so much. And
you for being here.
Yeah. Can we, yes, give us the little. You know, so far, just meeting you in person today, I feel like we're going to be a great partner in this search, and I'm really grateful to have you on board. I wanted to reflect briefly on our way out the door that some of you probably took this community survey that we had posted on the website. How many folks took a look at that? Several people in the room. Thank you so much. Yes, 303 total people participated or entered this survey. And so many of the findings of it, unsurprisingly, echo some of the themes we've talked about tonight. I have copies, you can take one on the way out the door, but some key things that I wanted to highlight are the sort of top leadership styles for a new town manager that survey respondents highlighted were collaborative, adaptable, and ethical. And I think those things are echoed in some of what you've shared tonight. And some of the core competencies highlighted as like, we really want someone who's excellent in this included integrity, functional and operational expertise and planning, empowering staff, initiative, risk-taking, creativity, and innovation. And so I want to kind of echo Liz's call to be listening to whoever we get as a new town manager, because if we want someone with some initiative and some new ideas, then that's a gift, and hopefully we can be receptive to learn from a new person's perspective. And then budgeting and strategic planning, sort of unsurprisingly, real town manager priorities. So feel free to take one of these on your way out the door. I am really grateful for tonight's conversation because it allowed us to go way more in depth about some of the things that are great about Orono and a challenge about Orono that I really think will kind of help reinforce Liz's impression of what this town is like and help her have really good conversations with potential candidates and aid us in this recruitment. So thank you. All right, Sue has a community announcement.
No, I just want to tell people what's coming next.
Great.
On the search.
You bet.
So, the council will be having an executive session on February 21st to pick the advisory search committee, which is citizens like you that put their names forward and said they're willing to serve. We have more than we can take, so we'll have to pick, which is a great problem. Thank you. And we'll pick the committee on February 21st. And the first meeting of that committee will happen in March. And as Liz has said, this process should take about 10 to 12 weeks from there. So we're looking at early to mid-May is where that's probably gonna end up. So I just wanted people been asking. That's the timeline.
Great. All right, thank you all for coming. Thank you for staying a few minutes late. Feel free to take some survey results if you're curious.
Community potluck is this Sunday. If you've never been.
Yeah.
So nice.